Good evening. All right, a few days before the holidays, but we are treated with an early Christmas/holiday present already. We've got Invitational League Playoffs Round 1 with the Eastern Skippers, formerly known as Team Spoilers, represented here by zelgadissan, facing off against Potato Pouch, represented here by Tam. This is actually Game 3 in sequence with the Power Pendant players. Zelga, in this case, I believe it's a higher seed, so we got to choose the mode. And do we have some exclusive League content for you today? Chances are a restream debut here in the League, at least Invitational, for this specific mode, which is standard small key shuffle, facing off played by two of some of the best runners we have in the community. I am Claire Mouse. Joined here with me on commentary is Matt7898. It's tracking here for us by Iker. All three of us actually were at SGL, including Drosy, who was our setup. So this should be a really fun time. Matt, how's it going? Ready to go?
Hello, gamers. Yeah, I'm doing well. I have never seen nor played this mode before, so I'm very curious to see what it's like.
Exclusive content, right here on SpeedGaming. This is debut. You're right. So yeah, standard small key shuffle. In fact, I had never even heard of this combination before Zelga picked it, basically. So we're gonna find out all of the intricacies, the nuances, the fun, together.
Yeah, Tam is really good at weird stuff, so I'm not surprised to see Zelga pick this. Is probably where he thinks he has the biggest advantage, which makes sense.
Yeah, so, that's also true. Yeah. I mean, so it's also honestly like if you were in like Zelga or or Tam's shoes, like I don't even know how you even take like a mode to try and get an edge over the other person, because I mean, as you said, Zelga and Tam are just both so good. You pretty much can throw anything at them and they'll be able to handle it, right?
Yeah, see some nice bombs in Link's house, so that really takes a lot of the pressure of trying to figure out which prize pack you're in. So now this is standard randomized weapon. So the uncle is going to hand us one of 7 weapons, and the challenge of escape very much depends on which one.
Yeah, and we're gonna see in this case if the 3 bombs in our house was actually worth it, because if uncle just happens to give us 10 bombs, well. But you know what? Oh, we've got the absolute best weapon. Oh my gosh! You know what? It's almost too easy. Can we get a reroll?
Yeah. Dot casual. Yeah, is that what we're playing right now?
Yeah. And you know what? Look at that. We've already got the exclusive content of the standard small key shuffle, because typically that key is supposed to be in the front of escape or the back, or the front of escape rather, as opposed to secret passage. So already taking advantage of this mode. I hope there are runners rewarded for this.
Yes, like having it be only small key shuffle is pretty interesting. Oh, dude, Tam going right side. What is this?
Gosh.
This is the he's an NMG runner too. This is blowing my mind.
I'm watching the symmetry here, right? Oh, I cannot, and it's almost serendipitous, right? That Tam's on the right side and Zelga's on the left side. Oh my god!
This is very pleasing to my eyes.
It is beautiful, right? This is someone clip this. Okay, I guess we got ourselves reoriented. Oh, you know what? We got another wonder. Every runner loves to see the small key, by the way. Small key to Tower Para.
I was gonna say, like, small key shuffle's interesting because you really don't need that many small keys to beat the game. Like, if Pod, Swamp, and TR are all pendants, you might not need any small keys to beat the game. So like they're like very important logically and in terms of like making your routing decisions, but in terms of like adding extra requirements, depending on the pendant crystal layout, it might not be that much.
Yeah, no, that's also actually a very good point. You know what? Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're really shuffling the keys here because we've only got small keys in terms of what we found so far. We do have a small key to Pod. You're never gonna be probably sad to see a small key to Pod, just because Pod has 6 keys, and in terms of item density, that's really makes that dungeon very, very appealing. But as you said, Matt, if Pod is a pendant, we may not actually have to dip in there. Of course, that's pretty optimistic because pendant refers to a Pod with 6 additional items to its dungeon name. Certainly could be a bit lucrative.
Yeah. So we do have the 8-bomb prize pack, and so Tam definitely knows about it because they saw that fairy. I'd be curious to see if they try to spin kill some of the ropes in the back to maybe get a few extra bombs to go to Kakariko with. Although with a
Yeah.
starting sword, you can even save and quit out of sync. You don't have to go right to Kakariko. It really gives you a few additional routing options right off the beginning.
Yeah, and that's also a good point. And in fact, actually, I think if we didn't get bombs, maybe we got like a different weapon, especially like one that takes magic, right? Maybe Cane or even well, maybe not as a hammer. But I mean, like the fact that you mentioned we have a starting sword specifically, it really takes the pressure off of trying to get more bombs because otherwise, bombs are still your probably primary source of weaponry. In order to try and kill things. Oh
Damn.
my gosh,
Can't.
look at Tam.
Please.
Oh my god. It looks like what? Okay, we should try this next time because it looks like Tam's enemy RNG on the right side looks pretty dang good. So I don't know why more NMG runners don't do this really fast.
That's true. I hear that the Japanese NMG runners like going up the right side. I've never seen
Really?
it, but that is the
Really?
rumor.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah, this is going to be something that we're gonna have to check out. Now, unfortunately, on Tam's side, we cannot push this whatever this thing is, the barrier, from the right to the left. That is one thing, unfortunately, that it only slides one way. It's not one of those double-sided rollers.
So we've already gotten our required Hyrule Castle small key in one of the first few checks. So it looks like Zelga does know the prize back. They saw a fairy.
He saw a big magic, I think, from the green guard, maybe.
He's one short of it, trying to farm.
Yeah, Tam, you can actually see Tam also trying to pause ever so slightly to see if they can get the 8 bomb packs. Oh man, these ropes are not giving up the goods.
Yeah, it's pretty unlucky. You can usually, if you kill all of those guys like they did, usually are able to get through the prize pack. Unfortunately, there's no more enemies in that prize pack. There's just the rats that are in a different one right now.
Yeah, speaking of, we did get the key rat. This is not part of any type of small key shuffle. That rat is always going to have a key.
Oh, rats are the bomb pack, so that helps.
So we're all good to go. I'm gonna say we are missing still that map, but it is in the back of Escape. We got more bombs back here too. It is technically, you could skip out on this, at least if you couldn't access this for whatever reason, and you didn't have to necessarily come back here. But it won't hurt you. But of course, we actually do have the bombs in order to access them, so that's just another thing we can mentally check off the list.
Ooh, nice 4 back on Tam's side.
Right, yeah. So Tam's gonna go into Kakariko or wherever they choose to go with a full bomb pack arsenal. Very well, Zelda though, just missing the bombs, from the drops. Gonna have about half as many to go.
Nice. Gain of Burna helps a little bit. I guess we're gonna see a Kakariko play from Zelga.
So far, yeah.
The one kind of interesting thing, I guess, in the early game is that the small key shuffle does, or at least you would think, make Ega much less likely because it increases the requirements for it by 2 extra items. So you may not see these guys check Lumberjack because it's so much less likely that that's going to be in play at any point.
You made such an excellent reminder of all the small keys that are going to be shuffled. The 2 Castle Tower keys are definitely within the small key item pool, or key pool, whatever it is. So you are absolutely correct in that if we're going to go beat Aga, even searching for Dark World Access or Lumberjack, which Tam is going to check for us, we're definitely going to need those 2 Castle Tower small keys. Now, of course, on the flip side, just like any of the Key Sanity mode, if you find a cape, like say for example, that first chest of Castle Tower absolutely will be in logic and can have something for you.
Yeah, so I don't think we mentioned it earlier, but these 2 teams are 1-1, and so we had, what was it? Was it Brogor versus Marty was the first one? That was yesterday, right? And
yeah,
yeah, the shady Magno match this afternoon was incredible. That was one of the best matches of league playoffs so far.
Yeah, I guess I won't have to spoil anything, but yeah, that match was definitely worth watching. And all I can say is that nice skip, Tam, true to their emote. If someone has the Tam 216 skip emote, certainly can pay homage to it. But yeah, that all I know from the earlier match today is that Shady did in fact decide to go into Easter Palace, forsaking their team name.
Yeah, we were all very disappointed, but
disappointed. I'm not sure if that's quite the sentiment of word that's accurate to describe the action. Alright, well then, so okay, so with that, I didn't even notice. Did you happen to see what was on Lumberjack?
It was a piece of heart.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right, so we got bombos and a hammer here in Blind's hut, and these guys are able to collect enough money for bottle vendor, which is always nice to get out of the way early, and a boomerang, which is also kind of nice to have sometimes.
Oh yeah, especially well, I mean, even it's so alright. You don't have a hook shot yet, but we can always check the stun prize. That can always be something that's pretty good in terms of resources. Even of course, early on, any type of stun ability. We already got a moon pearl. I know that some people like to try and make, some very difficult rooms a little bit easier, say with a boomerang, rooms in Castle Tower. If we're going to potentially head into Skull Woods, there is the Nilla Big Key chest, which, some people do deem the easiest room of the game, right here, potentially here on the commentary booth. But, boomerang probably wouldn't ever hurt.
Yeah, and this is where this mode gets a little weird, because, like, normally in just, like, an open seed, it'd be pretty tempting to just go in the Dark World and go to Thieves Town, but you might not be able to get to the small key chest because the key's probably not in there unless it's right there. No, it's not. So like a little bit more consideration. Like in full key sanity, I tend to want to like clear more of the light world a little bit to try and get maybe like a big key or a mirror before going in. But in this, it's kind of like in between. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is certainly very much true. I mean, you could do some potential shenanigans, in terms of like you could steal the key, from the back of Skullwoods to try and make the front of Skullwoods a little bit nicer. Because chances are you might, you probably stumble upon a Skullwoods small key somewhere. But yeah, there's definitely some, some considerations here. Looks like Zelda's gonna continue, right? On to Maze Race and Library. Gonna take a peek. We don't have a map check, by the way, on either side, correct?
No, I didn't see one.
Okay.
I think these guys might be in key sanity mode and not necessarily doing the map check. This is a nice small key on library. Here is a vanilla bug net, which is always fun.
Yeah, probably not going to be as coveted in non-enemizer modes, but you remember they're never going to say no to a free bug net. Especially, of course, in this case, we do have a bottle as well. It is filled with the red potion that we did gain Kakariko, so... But, again, if you want to use it, especially going to go into Dark World pretty early, that bug net is going to be quite nice in terms of the safety.
I think this is a blind check of race game. Nice $20 there.
Right. Okay.
Right, it looks like Zelga opting to either start Hype Cave or do some South Shore first.
Yeah, and I'm actually not sure what, Zelda's tendencies are in this particular case. Oh, we got a first map check. Speaking up, all right, we got
Pendant Eastern. I guess he's never gonna step in there, given their emote and team name.
Oh, look at this. It's just almost the same time map check on Tam's side, so they both know about the Eastern Palace, and that is... I'm still upset. Even through the entire length of the playoffs, and the entire league, I still can't believe they decided to name themselves this. But anyway, let us move on to Zelga doing South Shore. And I was gonna say, I don't know what his tendencies are. Maybe he's always kind of like a, we're gonna do South Shore, all that stuff, regardless of kind of what happens, right? Barring some pretty extreme circumstances. But it looks like Tam says to go straight on through.
Yeah, I kind of like this a little bit because what Tam's doing, you can go Hype Cave to Dig Game, and then when you go into the Dark World, you can just go up to Skull Woods. Okay, Pendant, Skull, and TR.
Yeah, looks like it was Green Pendant on Skull Woods. So yeah, we may not see the Fire Rod, by the way, right?
Yeah, potentially. Nice hook shot there in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, always great to see. Oh, speaking of the art, so forget about Dark Rooms. Tam also found the lamp here in Hype Cave.
Ooh,
oh my gosh! Tam made the correct decision, and that we got to boots first in Hype Cave. This is exactly what every runner wants to see: rushing boots. Tam did make a good choice here. Of course, the Hype Cave is definitely not going to be far off for Zelga. Probably going to finish up the South Shore stuff. Already did Mini Moldorm, already on their way back, looks like. Maybe potentially go back up straight up to Hype Cave here. Didn't do Ice Rod Cave, just going straight to the dam.
Okay, this is kind of interesting. So opting to do the pyramid catfish, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes some people like to make that decision based on what the 5-6 crystals are. It looks like they're Thieves Town and Ice Palace, so you need like the mitts, I guess. That's all you need to do that. So we still maybe a little bit away.
Yeah, and
I guess technically flippers, but not really.
That's absolutely right. And I was gonna say, like, maybe it depends on I don't know, the strategy. If this is certainly number one, this is playoffs. Number two, this is a 1v1 race. If Tam maybe thinks that this is a location that potentially Zelga will check for a while, please don't die, Tam. Green mail is not safe here for these parts. You know, this also could give them another edge as well, if something is here.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Oh,
We
two.
got more.
All right, 2 chest turns. I'll take
Alright,
it.
okay,
2 more than
no
Tam
worries.
got, so we can at least Zelga won that battle.
Zelga
Yeah,
also
and like
got the.
I was gonna say, both these guys are 2 of the best. I feel like Tam does not get enough credit as to how good they are. Tam is very, very good, and obviously everybody knows how good Zelga is. Recently won the spoiler tournament for SG Live Online, so
Yep.
obviously is clearly one of the best.
Yeah, in terms of execution, I would say that Tam maybe has a slightly better, you know, reputation or stronger reputation rather for like more glitch modes, no logic stuff. Tam, you know, that's something that Zelga probably dabbles less in. But I mean, like I said, you can throw literally anything at Tam, and they will be able to handle it quite well.
Yeah, Tam's a good NMG runner too. Has 125. Was in the
Nice.
Dark World division of NMG League. I raced them twice. Like they're very good.
Very, very talented. Yeah, we've got really good execution here being put on display. And of course, you know, as part of Rando, execution is not the only thing that matters. We've also got some routing decisions.
Oh no, Zelga got the.
Oh my god.
That sucks when that happens.
Even.
So if you can get lottery. This could happen in MG too by that Ropa and get stuck in the wall. Yeah, Hydra, yes, I believe you can jump out of that. I don't know if there are certain situations where you can't, but it looked like Zelga tried and couldn't get out of there.
Yeah, you know, we know, you know, from watching Tam that catfish is nothing. So, you know, if the worst thing, of course, that can happen in this case for Zelga's side is maybe that catfish is going to burn a hole, you know, on the back burner. But honestly, like they've got better things to do.
Yeah, honestly, that is probably going to end up saving time for Zelga, that unfortunate event. So I guess Tam going into desert with that desert small, this is a fully clearable crystal.
Yep, key sanity route, here we go. You know, always really nice to be able to come in here with the small key, so we can go immediately to the right side.
Ooh, almost got blasted by that BMOS there.
Yeah, we're actually going to see potentially some nice NMG clearing strategies here because, you know, we got boost, we got a fighter sword, you know, we got actually about the same amount of health as you come in for an NMG run. So the only probably difference is that we are going to have to open up every chest, including the compass one, which of course is just a piece apart. And the desert small key being here means that we have one additional item that, you know, we're going to potentially be looking here for.
Yeah, and like the Lambo fight's going to be a little slow, but actually the Cane of Burna kind of makes it.
Yeah,
a little bit nicer.
This is gonna be one kind of like major difference, right? Ooh, we got the flippers too. Yeah, I was gonna say this is gonna be one major difference. So Zelga ended up passing up the big magic drop from the green guard very early on in Escape. I believe they saw it and just decided to walk right past. And so as you mentioned, Burna can actually speed up landmos here quite a bit, and Tam's gonna go in with a full bar of magic. Oh,
There is an item on the boss.
Yeah, I was really hoping that the bow would be here, like, early on, because then, you know, we can actually see the once-a-year NMG run, you know, from Zelga kind of paying off in terms of practice. But unfortunately, today is not going to be that day.
Yeah.
I guess I'm curious, like, Matt, like, if you found all 3 items here in Desert, would you try and save it for, you know, for later? Maybe come back with better equipment?
Yeah, because both Mire and Swamp are crystals, so you're gonna get the flute and the mirror at some point. So yeah, I'd probably save and quit out.
Okay. Alright, but unfortunately also, as you mentioned, there is gonna be an item on the boss, so we're here, we're gonna, and this is a completely logic, so such almost a good weaponry layout for this dungeon. We did also pick up a skull with small key, so on the desert ledge, so that's always kind of nice to see. Maybe Kakariko is going to be look a little bit more appealing, right? We did see a small key on library as well, so that also could be something if they decide to go back and try and do like Thieves Town and maybe like the front of Skull Woods.
That's a good point. Yeah, and you're right. Having a skull small is really nice because you don't really have to worry about anything. You can just clear it front to back and stop at the big key chest, especially if that's the direction you're going.
Yeah, I guess it would be kind of nice. I mean, a mirror is always going to be nice. In fact, I believe one of the Eastern Skipper teammates, Shady, does have an emote that says that if we have the mirror, the game is playable as well. Always kind of nice to see. Can we check the pedestal? We're in Skullwoods. Let me just quickly also the book. Tam is starting with hammer strats. Zelga, though, employing some of their bombs to kind of try and soften up landmills a bit. This is great. This is great. This is exactly what we want to see. They're
Pretty decent fights, yeah.
They're making hammer landmills look ridiculously easy. I don't think it actually is this easy.
Yeah, the timing can get kind of annoying.
Really excellent fights here on both sides.
Alright, so where do you think these guys are going to go next?
Would you go to Thieves Town? I mean, it's...
I guess. Like, where else are you going to go? I guess Zelga can go to the mountain.
Oh, right, yeah, Zelga does have the hook shot from Mini Moldorm Cave. That's true, because they decided to do Mini Moldorm into the dam.
Tam's probably going to go get the hook shot.
Yeah, I guess like for Tam, there's not going to be a lot of great options. I mean, yeah, so they could also go up the mountain, but as you said, without the hook shot, not a lot more to do up there. Of course, another option can go to the Dark World in Village of Outcasts. Ooh.
Yeah, the thing is that they did just get those flippers, so Tam might be tempted to try and put off Mini Moldorm Cave a little, although he's starting it here, so he's almost definitely doing it. It might be a little tempting to try and get the money. Oh, he's going to the hospital. Okay, that also makes sense.
Yeah, Saha. So Eastern, we do know, of course, is a pendant. So, you know, chances are maybe Tam will just do Saha as a quick one-off.
This is the true counterplay to the Eastern skippers, right? This, if you... That's the problem with naming your team something you can do in the game. As someone who was in League, who also had a team name something you can do in the game, people expect you to do that thing, so...
Don't you have an emote? You could just spam the emote, you know, and that is doing that every single time. It counts.
True. Okay, looks like we're stopping at Saha. There's nothing wrong with a quick trip to Saha when you don't have amazing options.
Yeah, and of course, right, Tam, you know, I mean, as you said though, like we got flippers, you know, maybe further incentivizes a bit more South Shore, right? We can do the water walk stuff as well to make things a bit faster. We just don't really have that money for Zora. Maybe it's not going to be too big of a concern. You know, maybe we'll go to Hobo instead. Or maybe Hobo plus, you know, Ice Rod Cave plus Waterfall will just give us magically 350 rupees, so, you know.
Yeah, potentially. Alright, so Tam gonna get their hook shot. We will be on even footing here.
Yeah, and of course, both of them, I believe, are really looking for, you know, probably miss, especially in this case, Zelga's case. We are here up, going up the mountain. If we can somehow combine, in this case, Dark and Light Death Mountain, that would be super, right? Getting over to Death Mountain is always going to be a little bit of a time investment, so you're kind of already in the area. You know, you would much rather just be able to do Dark Death Mountain and Light World Death Mountain in all one go.
And dropping a bomb while switching to hookshot to pick up a bomb. That was pretty funny. Alright, yeah, so Zelga didn't have boots when they did Mini Moldorm Cave, so they probably weren't thinking about it at all about doing any of the water checks, whereas Tam has a much higher incentive to at least go to Hobo, like you said.
Yeah, I did not get the 50-50 bomb bush, whatever, rock thing, but we're not definitely, like, super low on bombs on Tam's side, but it is very, you know, good to see, very, as, you know, for someone as far as Tam's caliber to be very resource conscious of their inventory.
True. Nice early spike cave. This is a good place.
Yeah. We've got a full magic refill from doing Landmos. We have just enough in order to make it through. Boost, of course, always does help.
Ooh, that's interesting. I don't know if Zelga knows where that is.
I also do not believe he's been over there because he did not take a peek. It is the Fire Rod, but potentially it is not needed. You know, we did see the Skullwoods and Turtle Rock are pendants. But of course, if something is, let's say, the big key is on right side GT, right? We definitely gonna need that. Well, I mean, logically...
Ooh, game is now playable. Oh, that is a mirror on Hobo.
Oh my gosh, Tam is doing some really nice discoveries here.
Okay, so some interesting developments. We did see the second castle tower key, although since we have hammer and lumberjack is nothing, we cannot possibly need that for anything. I guess the first one is relevant, but the second one is useless.
Yeah, you're always very suspicious of castle tower keys when you're playing Key Sanity, especially if they show up so early. Alright, let's see this case. Oh, how close are we to Zora money here?
I think it's quite close, but not quite there.
Oh, keep counting.
4 rupees. The stun price is a 20. I don't think Tam knows this.
Oh, my god.
Tam, use your boomerang.
Oh my god. Or hookshot, whatever. Oh, you're right. It has to be boomerang now because the hookshot kills too many things.
I think you can stun with hookshot. Oh, there's $5.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
bailed.
Oh my gosh. That is. Oh. I don't know.
Ooh, base half magic. Wow, this has been a very fruitful water checks. So now Tam can go get that fire rod now, right? So.
Yeah. We just have to go hop straight back into Dark World for this. Yeah. And I was actually thinking, like, that half magic is definitely worth picking up, right? You know, typically, like, Zora Ledge isn't something that you may actually necessarily go for, but for a luxury item like this, certainly could be quite nice. And of course, this is just a regular item pool. You know, no hard mode, any type of limited stuff shenanigans.
Or rupees. So these guys do have the Hera small. They don't have the Hera big, but because they have the hookshot, the Hera is clearable -1, and that -1 could be the map or the compass.
No, right. We do have the Hera small key, so like it could just be the basement. We don't want to sit for the basement, right? But
oh yeah, right, dude. My brain just wants this to be Key Sanity so badly. I've never played. It's such a strange mode.
This is League exclusive content right here. Oh, nice Hera pot though on Zelga's side. Yeah, so right, we're gonna have one extra item here because the small key is removed from the actual item pool for Hera. So the hope is we're just gonna have like a map or compass inside the big chest. We're just gonna be able to get all the items here. That's definitely not one of them.
Okay, this is interesting. Tam's opting to go to the village.
This is village / maybe Skullwoods?
Yeah, but they're not getting the fire rod.
Oh,
they might be going to water walk to the fire rod.
Oh, dude, that would be so great. You know, man, Tam, thank you so much.
They're checking the pedestal. Okay.
Okay, cool. I'm really enjoying the kind of content here that Tam is giving us. We're gonna not check the pedestal.
I'm very confused as to what's happening on the right side of the screen right now.
Oh, I think maybe I've never.
All right, I'm just gonna watch this Moldorm fight and let Tam figure this out. All right, 3 hammerheads, no problem.
Yeah, definitely was not an issue the first time. I've heard though that it's a lucky hook shot. You know, if we can maybe use it the next time. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and head to the village first. It is another clearable crystal, with of course the exception that we do not have the small key to Thieves Town, so we can't necessarily get what's inside the big chest. But again, could just be a map for compass.
It is fairly likely, right? It's like,
or I believe there is the case where I think the small key can lock itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a case I think we're never gonna really be able to figure out or find out.
All right, so Tam in the village. Zelga just gonna be able to do Spiral Cave, and then probably we'll be following Tam. They don't have Zora money,
Right,
so they may be tempted to put off some of these water checks.
Yeah, that's true. And of course, Zelda doesn't know about the 300 just sitting in Waterfall. Of course, one thing potentially. I mean, we don't have a bow yet, but you know, like we do potentially need to be a bit, for pod money as well.
Is this Thieves Town small? No.
Oh, that would have been pretty sweet if it were. We got to do our. Oh no, sorry. According to our tracker, Iker doing all of the counting and clicking for us. That was our 3rd pod small key. So looking, looking pretty tempting because we do need a lot of keys to put the backup pod into logic, but just because it is small key shuffle, the front of pod also has quite a bit number of things as well.
Yeah, 11 items in pods. It's quite a bit. So you're seeing Zelga go south towards Kakariko specifically to get that small key off the library.
Of course, right. They pick up the powder from Akina. It is only 3 bombs. Tam is probably going to be pretty happy to see those. Zelga, much less so, just because Tam was kind of still looking for some bombs. But Zelga's already got a full pack, so we don't care.
Alright, so with that mirror, Tam is gaining a little bit of efficiency here. You're going to be able to check, depending on which direction they go, like K45 / Graveyard Ledge.
Oh, right. We have the mirror, so we can actually check K45 as well.
It's a lot of pod keys.
That's 4. My gosh. Honestly, like, with this many pod keys, it's pretty tempting to go. Who hasn't seen a bow and pod, or 2 for that matter? Maybe we'll just find a bow in here. So actually, I guess, like, if you find something good in the front 4, would you just leave?
No. I don't think so. I think if I go into Thieves Town, especially, it might depend. If I find the map, the compass, the small key, and the big key in the front four, I'd probably leave. Or not the small key, sorry, the map, the compass, and the big key in the front four.
Because I guess like it kind of like raises the chance. Well, I guess that there's like a guaranteed item in the big chest, right? At that point.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I probably would just do it anyway.
All right, sounds good. So we did find ether, so that is potential another. That's potentially a required medallion. We don't have eyes on Misery Mire yet, because we're still kind of looking for those myths.
Okay, so you've seen Zelga do the full north to south route.
Yeah, we're
not knowing where the fire rod is. I mean, this
not knowing, right.
Obviously not having the mirror either. This makes sense.
I believe we're deciding to. Yeah, do you think Zelga will check Bumper Ledge? After Skullwoods, or do you think they'll just kind of go straight on to Village of Outcasts?
Yeah, you kind of have to check Bumper Ledge, I think. But I mean, you never know. Not leaving that can be very painful.
No personal experiences, right?
No, of course not.
Speaking of though, alright, so Zelga's putting that boomerang to work, stunning those Gyptos. It is, in fact, quite an easy room in this case, perhaps one of the easiest ones. No mirror, but also we got kind of bullied by some of the enemies here in the back of Skullwood, so we're just gonna take a quick death warp out.
Yeah, with that convenient small key that they found, they don't have to go grab the one from the pot.
Ooh, look at that, Tam. Very nice game. Thanks for the 10 bombs in the attic chest before also taking the time to pick up the pots.
Yeah, this isn't hard mode. They just haven't found any hearts.
Yeah. Yeah, they found a couple heart pieces, maybe heart, one or two heart containers. Yeah, one of the. Ooh, well.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Trinex is a pendant. I mean, Turtle Rock is a pendant. We may not ever need that ice rod. I guess from Zelga's perspective, right? Having the ice rod to go beat Argus, for example, always kind of something nice to have for phase 2.
Fair enough.
We can maybe see some cool ice rod strats in the front of Mire if we're kind of stuck on,
Ooh, that's nice though. That gives you some direction.
Yeah, thank you, Dunka. Front of Skullwoods having some value today. That is one of our 2 bows. So.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for Zelga that he's got a fully clearable Eastern Palace that he has to skip. So.
I am in agreement with you that it is really unfortunate for Zelga that he's just going to leave some conversion. I mean, he is not going to see the value of Eastern Palace today.
So we did not see a bumper ledge check.
We did not, correct, yes. But Zelga, pretty happy, I think, he's going to come into here for at least Village of Outcasts, so he's also going to be on 4 pot smalls. And I think even for key sanity modes, right, going into pod with 3 or fewer keys for that matter isn't really super, happy. So always really got to see that 4th one. Alright, meanwhile though, Tam has taken down their first crystal. This is also a 5/6 crystal. No miss in order to dive into Ice Palace quite yet, but that is also something to consider with Pure and Fury being on the table. Our very helpful tracker Iker also, mentioning that there is an item in the big chest. Thank you for keeping track of that.
Tam is not going to Skullwoods.
Okay.
So this is getting real interesting now because it's going to be tough for Tam to get to that bow, and it's also going to be tough for Zelga to get to that mirror. So we're going to kind of see what happens here. I think it's a little bit better right now to have the bow than to have the mirror, but
you have a direction for sure with that bow, right?
Yeah, because we don't have the Swamp Small, right? So it's not like the mirror is giving Tam a fully clearable crystal, whereas the bow is giving Zelga that.
So I was actually just speaking of Swamp. I was going to ask you. So what do you think about doing the first chest of Swamp here?
I hate it.
do you think Tam will do this?
I mean, probably. Yeah, I saw it doesn't have fantastic options, right? You're probably gonna want to check Bombo's tablet. So you're going right by there.
We do have the book. We cannot get it because we're still on Fighter Sword. But honestly, after seeing some of the other seeds in the playoffs so far, I will take Fighter Sword over No Sword any minute of any seed.
Yeah, Tam has Tam has a fully clearable mountain, and that is also true. Tam might just be waiting to get the fire rod to go back to Pendant Skull Woods. But like, if you go get the fire rod, it is kind of tempting to go to Pod. But I guess the fact that he hasn't done the mountain yet might prevent that.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So nothing on Bombus Tablet. Zelga is 1 heart from dying. He quick swap to the potion just in case. Pretty tempting to use it, Zelga. Just as a hint. Good job. this dying here in the attic is quite painful. So definitely, and of course we did pick up the bug net, from the sick kid as a vanilla prize from returning the bottle. So there's no real, I guess, downside for Zelga to use that potion right now.
That's true. All right, so we are getting the first chest of Swamp Jack. I mean, the small key could be vanilla.
Oh yeah. Because that's one of the best places, right, to find the Swamp Small.
There was a version of the logic that put the Swamp Small there in Key Sandy like a huge percentage of the time. That might be still burned. I don't know if Tam's been around long enough for that, but
actually, now that you mention it, it does actually sound familiar too.
No.
Oh,
maybe Tam just forgot about the key shuffle.
I saw the small key, and then I was like, man, but the key count didn't increase, so we know it's not, we know it wasn't a vanilla Swamp Small. Yeah, it looks like though Tam, basically just taking the Dark World loop here. I gotta go pick up the Fire Rod. And again, of course, the Fire Rod may not be required in terms of logic. We do know Skullwoods is a pendant, Turtle Rock is a pendant. However, the fact that we also have half magic and the Fire Rod is an extremely powerful offensive weapon.
All right, looks like we are getting it a pod play. Like are they going back to the village?
Oh, maybe maybe it's gonna be a graveyard ledge bumper cave.
Oh, that's not bad.
Woods. Yeah,
all right. He's
nice
getting
use of the
fancy.
portal. Yeah, nice use of the portal here. I'm really actually kind of glad to see such strong teammate turnout here, both for the Eastern Skippers and for Potato Pouch. It's quite late, by the way, in terms of hours for the other teammates, because I believe they're on European time. But really great to see the support here.
So has Tam gone up the mountain at all?
No.
Have they rescued the old man? So
they have not.
So they have a decision to make of like Skullwoods versus go up the mountain right now, potentially.
Good point. Yeah, good point. I did also forget about King's Tomb. We do not need mitts because once we have the mirror over here. Alright, let's see in this case what is in Graveyard Ledge. Yeah, so this is going to be some stuff again. Alright, it's just a heart piece, which is also vanilla, but probably much less noteworthy. Yeah, Shady, you need to wake up Marty. Like we got Broger and Magno here in chat, supporting Tam. Like I don't know if Zelga is able to take on Tam and the whole team of Potato Pouch.
I do like the amount of 3:48 a.m. energy that's coming into the chat right now. I do appreciate it. Okay, so Tam is clearing Skullwoods, so they're going to be right back on track.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be able to get their boat here. Now, I guess like if you're here, so we did also see from the map check that Skullwoods also is the green pendant. Is that tempting at all? We also don't have a pedestal check. Tam was heading over here earlier.
Yeah, I think Tam's gonna go to Moth right now because they haven't been to Pod and Eastern yet, so you can just mirror and grab the turn in there, and they're probably not gonna get the bow before they're making that decision, so it's like a lot more tempting. If he had the bow in hand, he might not be doing it, or they might not be doing this.
That's actually a really good point as well, man. That's some big brain heads up thinking. Okay, alright, so as for Zelga, as you said though, we do have some direction. Whether or not Zelga goes to Eastern Palace remains to be seen. Maybe depends on how frisky, in this case, or adventurous he's feeling. If there are going to be other team meetings called because of his actions. But we're definitely going to go into Pod first. With, of course, the bow, 4 Pod Smalls. Zelga is very familiar with this dungeon.
Yeah, Zelga has no mirror too, so I don't think there's Eastern Palace.
Oh yeah, that's also a good point. Good point. Good point.
But like, we know that Zelga can't find the mirror in here, so unless Mitts are in pod, right? Like, they're not gonna have great options. They might opt to do the water checks because they will be able to collect some money in pod to get up to 500.
Yeah, was actually a very good point. I was even thinking that too. So even though Zelga's going to spend 110 rupees here, pod, is a very generous, dungeon. It will help you replenish your lost funds because, it helps stimulate the economy, right? Every single living creature is happy. Got both a little bit of the pie here.
True. Alright, you see Tam's moth fight.
Fighter, sword, hammer.
Not the most fun, but hammer's not too bad.
And we do, of course, have magic. A lot of the magic bar left. Just in case they need, another fire Rasha to kind of dislodge Moth from a pretty, terrible position.
Oh, Tam, please, Tam, please.
Oh my gosh, Tam,
he's got a use your potion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, dude. All right. Yeah, that was.
I love it when he goes in the top right when you only have the hammer. Moth, please.
Oh, Tam.
They should be okay here. They can still take one more hit. Okay, wasn't scared at all. That's fine.
Yeah. All right. Didn't need the fire rod at all. We did get 10 arrows for our trouble, but more importantly, we do of course have that coveted green pendant. Tam, of course, doesn't know about the bow yet, but they're gonna be quite happy.
That was a swamp small in pod right there.
Oh,
so
great.
That's another fairly significant piece of the puzzle for Tam after they get their bow.
Yeah. Of course, the good news, of course, for Zelga is that we haven't been to South Dark World. Oh, they haven't been to Swamp yet. Haven't done like kind of South Dark World stuff. So they're gonna be able to, do Swamp and like K45, presumably after they do their, flipper checks.
Nothing on bed.
Yeah, just was it Couch Clash or something?
Yes. I mean, at this point, really the only thing that could be on there is like Flute or maybe Quake.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, actually, so speaking of, what do we still need for Go Mode? We don't know the medallion yet. I mean, more importantly, we still of course need mitts. We haven't found them yet.
Yeah, Samaria and Flute.
And another sword would be really, really swell. Doesn't have to really show up until the end of GT or anything like that, but would be cool.
Yeah. We have what amounts to like the 2 small keys that we actually need, so that's fine.
Amazingly, and yeah, we know Castle Tower small key hunt. And not that it was an Agastine, although there still could be something there. We needed Swamp Small, which also could be pretty terrible to find.
I guess it depends what the pod big is. Oh, there's vanilla key.
Nice, yeah. Nice pot small and pod, so that was our 5th pot key.
Alright, okay, so Zelga consciously getting the rupees, so the flipper checks are on their mind.
Yeah, and of course, we haven't seen Harmless Hellway yet, but it also could be another location that does self-locks a small key, but we have 5 keys at this point, so this is definitely going to be something that Zelga's going to be comfortably checking.
Ooh, nice case of Mario.
Very important.
Okay, so Tam's not going to miss that because they have 4 small keys too. Though they're opting to go. I don't know if they're going to go up the mountain or just save the old man.
Yeah, maybe it's just going to be a save the old man as a save and click point. They're going to be able to do this anyway, and they're right here, so. Especially with no flute, getting over here to Death Mountain Ascent Cave isn't. I mean, it's not long, from Sanctuary, especially with boots, but I mean, you're literally right here, right? So.
Yeah, it's a nice piece of round. You at least save the old man. I don't know if they're going to actually do the mountain checks because they might be hoping for mitts in pod.
Right.
The other thing is that if you do the mountain checks and you get a bunch of stuff, then it can prevent you from being tempted to dip Eastern if there's nothing in pod. But
yeah, I mean, well, so certainly, not that there's nothing in pod so far. We did find, let's say, like Samari, for example. But in terms of like actual, I don't know, stuff, right? Like, well, I guess we did find Swamp Small as well. Zelga sounds like he might be pretty happy to just leave pod. After, especially he doesn't have a mirror, so he can't really even be tempted to go into Eastern.
Yeah, it seems like they have Zora on the minor. They're still 11 rupees short. Although I'm pretty sure they know about the stun prize because I think that's where we saw it.
Okay, okay. Yeah, Zelga, especially, as you mentioned, spoiler log champion of SGL Online for earlier this year. If anybody is going to know how to handle the resources and trying to figure out prize packs and stun prizes and all, it is going to be Zelga.
True. And also just reminded me that we do need a sword as well.
Yes, yeah. You know what, for Ganon, it doesn't have to necessarily show up before then, but, it would be real small to have. Alright, I can't remember if there was an item that's still left on Helmasaur. As you said, Pod has 11 items, up for contention, but we're just gonna find out in this case if we're gonna get something extra, or this is just really gonna be another crystal, in the bag for Zelda.
We got here. Yeah, I thought I saw the map in the compass, but I'm not sure about Pod.
Alright, Zelda not quite having the cape, but we do know about any type of invincibility dash. You have an invincibility item activated immediately upon entry from the portal, and you can just dash straight on through for that really freaky dash.
Yeah, Zelga activating spin speed on Helma, getting that nice widened hammer hitbox.
Yeah, really great. Makes Fighter's Sword Helma suddenly significantly more palatable. Yeah, that was a very nice boss kills on both Zelga and Tam's side. Tam did not get bullied by Moldorm and be able to use the hammer.
Alright, so Zelga's got a pretty important decision here, given that, the team name. I'm thinking we're going to see some Zora checks, but you never know. Well, I think they got to go back in for the vanilla big key.
Yeah, it looks like it. Now, of course, this could be a pot small, for all we know. We do not know what it is, but it certainly could be, but it also could be just an item.
Yeah, it also could be the miss, which would be very bad for Zelga. Alright, that is Tam's Castle Tower Small Key as well from Spike Cave. So it's gonna be a little bit nicer just because they do also have having enough magic for whatever they decide to do next. Only that, it was a convenient 20 rupees to pump them right over 500.
Yeah, look at that. Okay, this is Tam's.
Yeah, this is the water. Well, I mean, we don't know. We think it's the water checks.
Well, we definitely have flippers, so we're
gonna
dive straight in. I think this is gonna be Zelga's Lake Highlight Island check as well. He's gonna be very I don't know how pleasantly surprised he'll be to find that fire rod, but he does have eyes on it at least.
I mean, I think after he gets this mirror, he's going straight to Swamp, because even if you want that fire rod, you go to Zora after, right? So I don't think Zelga's even going to go to the Zora area.
Yeah, and I guess I think you're right. Like the mirror is kind of the like the last piece of the puzzle in this case. For Zelga to be entering Swamp.
Wow. Never mind. Don't listen to me.
We're swimming right out. So I don't know, and this is kind of maybe another routing decision because we still don't have the flutes. What is this? Oh, it's GT small on the green pendant turn in. Yeah, but I was gonna say, like, we don't have the flute, so the overworld travel is certainly gonna be a bit more emphasized in terms of how much time things cost. And so I don't know if this is Zelga saying like, I'm gonna do this anyway. It's gonna be faster for me to do Zora, versus maybe like afterwards.
Essentially, yeah. And I guess technically you might not need the fire rod, although the fire rod's kind of nice to have in GT, whether you need it or not. And also on Ganon, considering they don't have silver arrows.
So far, right?
Yeah, I mean so far, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this is also all very good points. Yeah, maybe Zelga's also maybe looking for another sword. I mean, we know there's no sword out here, but of course Master Sword will make let's say Argus will significantly more nicer.
There's also the potential, like, if you get Mitts in Swamp, you can just go to Ice after you get your Fire Rod, so, I mean, there's lots of...
Yeah, that's also true. That's actually very good points. Did forget that we could just run straight over to Swamp. So it's actually very good, I guess, exercise in terms of trying to, optimize your overworld routing. Zelda not even bothering to pick up the 300 from Zora. We already have more than enough cash on us.
Alright. So, I mean, Zelga's got to be going to Swamp now.
Yeah, and we just see on Tam's side that with that early mirror, hasn't really, in terms of progression, hasn't really paid out all that much. Like we did kind of like the North Dark World stuff, Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb, only is just a bunch of safeties, heart containers and whatnot that we do not need. So yeah, I think we also see K45 on Tam's side as well, so it's just another heart container.
Yeah, and like Zelga seems to kind of be, I mean, it's really hard to tell who's ahead right now, but like it seems to be fairly likely that Mitts are in Swamp, although Mitts could also be in Eastern, which I think would be much more interesting for the closeness of this race. But if Mitts are in Swamp, the Zelga appears to have maybe an advantage.
Yeah, well, Zelga's certainly going to be the first to get the Mitts. That, of course, does not, as you said, may not always equate to being ahead. Mitts certainly are required. They open up, on the flip side, a ton of stuff. So just like kind of Tam chasing like the mirror checks and not kind of leading to anything, Zelga can also chase Mitts checks and also could not lead to anything.
Mm-hmm. But like of the non-Mitts checks, Tam has done everything but Eastern and Swamp, I think. Well, they didn't do Catfish, but Zelga did Catfish.
Right, yeah. I'm actually trying to think if are there any other checks that are available to us that are pre-Mitts? I think the answer might be no. I think
no, like there's an item in Thieves Town, but we don't have the small key.
Right. Yeah, I think between Zelga and Tam, I think we've exhausted all of our options. So yeah, so I think that's right.
Yeah, it's just Eastern and Swamp.
All right, so I guess okay. So this is technically small key shuffle. Are you going to the back first? Are you going to the left side first?
What Zelga needs 2 items.
He needs potentially Quake. He does need another sword.
Yeah.
But of course, we can find that sword elsewhere.
I guess 3 items, 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I hate going left side Swamp. I probably wouldn't do it. Did he get a map? Or the map chest?
But I think Iker maybe or someone else in chat can probably help us out here.
I mean, like either option's fine. It's just kind of preference. If they feel like they might feel like they have a pretty decent route.
Yeah, I mean, so far, I think both Tam and Zelga has taken, I don't think they have any real reason to feel bad about what they've done, and the sequencing they've done. They've made a ton of progress, like, all throughout. Zelga might feel a little bit bad being a little late to that mirror, just because, the mirror is such a powerful item. But, I mean, as we kind of see on Tam's side, it's not like the mirrors really hurt them all that much.
Yeah, from Zelga's perspective, there are a lot of things that could severely punish them, but we know that those things are not going to punish them. So
yeah, exactly. Oh right, yeah, that's right. There was some earlier mental damage. That's right with Catfish. As you did mention, I forgot about that. Yeah, the Zelga unfortunately got walled, I guess, by the Ropa. Lotto.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so there was a vanilla map in Swamp, so this makes perfect sense. Oh well, there's Quake Medallion. That's real interesting.
That could certainly be very much required. We still, of course, don't know the Meyer Medallion or the Turtle Rock Medallion, for that matter. Got a Meyer Small. Well, I have
one of those nice.
Yeah, you're never gonna complain about a Meyer Small. I guess maybe in the I don't know, even the best case scenario for go moding Meyer, you still have to go find that big key in in standard small key shuffle. So yeah, a small key to Meyer is definitely going to be useful.
Yeah, for sure. Tam's making quick work of Pod. They had a really nice hammer jump that I did not mention, but I noticed.
Oh, nice.
Oh, well, there's your mitts.
Yep,
I wonder if he would have got that Quake Medallion if he went to Compass Chest before left side.
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, if you get those mitts first, you go to Compass Chest first, like, did you say, would you be getting Quake?
Maybe not. I don't know. It's tough to tell. Alright, so those mitts make Zelga's next decision, I think, pretty easy in that getting that Fire Rod and going to Ice Palace.
Yeah, with the Cane of Samaria, of course, in hand, you know, where it's going to be a very fast clear. Alright, we got the compass here in the back, so we don't have the. So I guess if the big key's on Argus, then we do have him. We potentially might come back in, but if it's not, which is the better case scenario, then we're just gonna run straight out. Although, like, I guess, like, would you be tempted to? No. We already have all 3 medallions, so maybe it's not. So we don't actually care about what the Myron tree is.
Yeah. Alright, good old fighter sword Argus. Oh, going for the double hooks. The double hook, double spin can be a little tricky, but Zelga is a professional.
Yeah, no, Zelga, especially for, you know, being so acquainted with spoiler log execution. It's not, you don't always get the luxury of Temper's sword. You don't even get the luxury of having a sword to begin with. So, you know, Zelga is always very grateful for what the resources that he has. Alright, so Tam also looks like they're also skipping out on Eastern Palace, so at least currently, if we're looking for just myths, and of course the quick medallion, we know this is going to be the right decision.
Nice ice rod kill on phase 2.
Yeah, okay, and we got the item, so I think is that the big key is self-locking, so we are completely done with Swamp Palace on Zelga's side. Probably the big question, I guess, now facing Tam, or at least to see what they decide to do. You know, we did see the, as we said, we saw the myths and compass chest. It is technically faster if you're gonna full clear the dungeon the first time doing left side is to delay compass chest after left side. But if you decide to do the compass chest first, we may not see the quick medallion.
Yeah, so like Tam needs Ice Palace to be empty, and then it's like it gets a little tough from here because it's hard to do kind of anything but go to TR after if Ice Palace is empty, especially for Zelga. So it's like kind of challenging to see Zelga getting to all these places that Tam has cleared. Like I think it's coming down to like the best place for Flute for Tam I think is Eastern Palace, but there are definitely some other options, but they're kind of both a bit on the same track right now.
Yeah, and of course, right, as you mentioned, like with the myths, we also do have Dark Death Mountain, I think, also. Right, I mean, we can go basically straight up there, right? That's a very...
Yeah, like TR Dark Death Mountain after Ice Palace.
Yeah, I mean, even though Zelga did pick up the cape as well, and he does not check Bumper Ledge, like, man, doing North Dark World, especially after you've already done the front of Skull Woods, is just so... it's not appealing at all. Alright, looks like the Tam is also going to do left side first, so this is at least going to be this is going to put Tam on equal footing with Zelga. There's going to be no chance that they will be able to miss out on any type of entry into Mire. Oh, speaking of, okay, so we got some more Turtle Rock small keys. Yeek.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess they have no Ice Palace smalls, which is kind of annoying.
Oh right, yeah. So yeah, Ice T is gonna be certainly. I mean, it's gonna be more painful. Oh, well, oh, nice.
There's the 6 pod key. There's your Cane of Sumerian logic.
Nice logic. I mean, not that we, of course, logically need the Cane of Samaria, I think, in order to, you know, defeat Ice Palace, but we're certainly not gonna get out of Ice Palace to go get it to come back.
Sort of a stair clip.
Yeah, very, very interesting, huh?
Alright, I wonder if Zelga's gonna skip, because the big key's an Ice Tea.
This looks like the answer is no, or were they?
Well, they need to get the small key no matter what, okay. But okay, they're gonna get the items.
Wow, Zelga really timing those shadow guys. I honestly thought he was gonna get hit, but you know, Zelga knows better than me, so didn't even have to quick swap over to the hook shot in order to kind of you know, hedge their appearances. Alright, Tam is well on their way in order to get their mitts very shortly, and then just gonna claim basically their next crystal for Argus.
Okay, it's just the map. Alright, so there's still an item on Cole's there.
Alright, so half magic.
Oh, Zelga getting bodied. That guy just 4 hearts of damage.
Oh no. Actually, speaking of, I mean, is this gonna be one of those times where Zelga's gonna powder a Anti-Fairy, maybe catch one if they choose to? Oh, we're gonna be just fine. But yeah, half matching Fire Rod certainly can make Cold Stare much nicer. Just gotta kind of time your sword spin, pretty well, I guess, early on.
Yeah, they could even opt to use bombos if they really wanted to. But
right. We also have bombos. Yeah. Actually, so Matt, would Pyramid Fairy after Ice Palace be tempting for you before the mountain?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I'm going. Mind you, with Pyramid Fairy though, you do get 2 extra checks because you do have Castle Tower.
Excellent point.
So it might be a little more tempting. I don't know.
Zelda spending his green potion on Cold Stare. Actually, kind of a very interesting decision. I mean, I think he only had a couple of.
Oh, that's disgusting.
He only had a couple of Fire Rod shots, I think, left, and maybe just a couple hits. But especially for now, to be able to just use the potion to try and speed things up a bit, I think it's probably probably for the better.
Yeah, I think Zelga's gonna go to the mountain now, because if you do Pyramid Fairy, it's kind of tempting to go up to Graveyard Ledge and do all that stuff. Although you could do that with Skullwoods too, but there's just so many items up here.
Oh, it's a nice kill on Tam's side, especially for phase 1 and phase 2. So that is going to be their next crystal. But yeah, like I said, we are here up in the mountains. We're going to do Dark Death Mountain. We can go into Turtle Rock with our 3 Turtle Rock small keys. We can make it very far. In fact, we could clear out the entire dungeon of Turtle Rock if we want to, skipping the vanilla of the key chest. Of course, we can also just find another Turtle Rock small key in Turtle Rock. always fun.
Yeah, Zelga does not have the pedestal knowledge, so they might prioritize Trinex over Lava Chest.
True. Yeah.
Mind you, we are logically though, we are very far away from the back of Skullwoods, or I guess Moth, not the back of Skullwoods. But because you need all 3 of those small keys, that is one thing that's kind of important to keep track of, because the higher likelihood it is that those keys are in Ganon's Tower, the higher likelihood it's just not required.
Yeah, that's also a very good point. Right, Skullwoods is a pendant, and GT is definitely completely wide open for those pendant dungeons. Yeah, that's actually kind of one of the features about something like 80 keys, right? Especially for full key sanity, is that the hope, of course, you never have to go find explore GT basement looking for stuff, but it is certainly very much an option looking for pendant, Desert Palace, big key in there or something. Alright, what does Hookshot Cave have? It's going to be brand new checks. Meanwhile, Tam though is kind of following Zelga's footsteps in order to clear out Ice Palace. Armor here. Nice. Probably not necessary.
Okay, so nothing there. It's getting more interesting.
Yeah. I was also kind of wondering in the back of my mind if Tam was also going to do any type of, chest skipping. We did see, of course, that they would not be punished if they skipped Ice-T, because it was Ice-T had the big key, Big Chest had the map, but I think Tam is probably not inclined as much to skip things inside.
No, I don't think Tam can really feel too bad about their route. It's hard to. I don't know. Maybe
I absolutely agree. I think both Tam and Zelga has done quite well. They have not been stopped in terms of in terms of progress.
All right, so we are getting the TR play. Yeah, like you said, everything but 2 checks in here on logic. Plus, you get Mimic Cave.
Of course, we do have the hook shot. Zelga can just shoot just delay our Fire Rod shot for the last horse. It's okay. Plenty of time.
See if Tam opts to skip the. This is a very tempting skip. Yeah, Tam not going for the.
Oh, all right. Tam gonna gain a little bit of time here over Zelga, man. Just we're beelining it to Cold Stare.
I mean, this is a 50-50, right? From their perspective,
for sure.
Because the map is in the big chest, but it could be not the map in the big chest.
Right.
But this is a
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
This is good. These 50-50 gambles are often good to take.
Yeah, especially we saw in this case how long Zelga took in order to get to Ice Tea without a small key, as you said, takes forever, and then we have to go back to the big chest. It is quite some time.
All right, really. There we go. Nice cleanup there by Tam.
Oh yeah, no, it did quite well. Yeah, I mean, like, even though, you know, the Fire Rod doesn't seem to be required as of yet, you have bombos for Ice Palace, but man, is it helpful.
Okay, that's interesting. That was a Master Sword and jumps right there.
Yeah, we got a second sword. It's very much required. Of course, there are 2 other swords out there somewhere, but we, you know, don't really know where they are.
I think Tam's following Zelga right up the mountain right now.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it.
Like if Flute is not here, things get pretty interesting, right? Because there's like Smith Chain. Now Zelga has all of North Dark World plus the back of Skull Woods and Catfish due to their unfortunate events.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I think, you know, I mean, I think for Zelda it's going to be much more tempting, and then that's going to be kind of all that time kind of giving back to Tam, because right now, you know, it certainly just looked like Zelda is basically almost half a Turtle Rock, or maybe a little bit more, you know, ahead of Tam. But I mean, like, keep in mind, of course, Tam has done all of, in this case, you mentioned, right, North Dark World, Catfish, and all this other stuff. I mean, and also it'd be more tempting to go over to the village.
It's yeah, I was gonna say Shade. Tam hasn't done any of the mountain, so I'm pretty sure the other TR Smalls in Paradox Cave. I'm not 100% sure, but pretty sure. Okay, well, TR's looking real required right now, so...
Yeah, and you don't often think this. I mean, there could be a sword of GT, right? But holy cow, 2 swords to be able to get this far, Chomps and Mimic Cave, is certainly very looking pretty important. Now, of course, keep in mind that 4th Rock Smoky could be in that chest that we just passed on Zelga's side. I mean, you know, that we saw in passing. So, certainly not going to... But of course, you're just hoping that that's actually not... that's not required. Okay.
They have a vanilla flute now.
Cool. Might further incentivize Zelga to go over to Village of Outcast / North Dark World after this.
Yeah, true. Just adds stuff to that Smith Chain.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like Zelga wants to maybe save a little bit of his health going into Trinex. Or Laser Bridge for that matter. We do have Blue Mail on his side.
Alright, Laser Bridge. What do you got? Alright, that's not a flute.
We got a lot of GT smalls
Second
here.
GT key is not too bad. You do still have to find the big key, so having 2 small keys is nice.
Oh, right, yeah, we still have to go find the big key. It's not shuffled. Good reminder that it is only in fact small key shuffle. Alright, looks like just the map. So I imagine Trinex has a...
Yeah, I don't think Zelga would be doing this just for the pendant. That with an out of logic pedestal. 2 dungeon out of logic pedestal.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, so Tam out here inside. Oh, okay, it is Bombos. I guess, yeah, we still don't have a flute, so we still can't look at Meyer, but, you know, at this point, we have a guaranteed entry. Probably the only, you know, unknown or maybe value in order to get that Meyer Medallion information is, you know, we did find Quake on left side swamp, which we saw both Zelga and Tam do, but it's certainly very possible, right, that if you did cut this chest first, you might skip out on the Quake Medallion.
Yeah, for sure.
Looks pretty textbook so far on Zelga's side in order for this Trinex kill. And yes, and as you mentioned before, Matt, Zelga does not have pedestal knowledge. Pretty, you know, if he did, he assuming he's done with the mountain, he probably would have just, saved and quit before grabbing the pendant, but he does not have that knowledge, so there's zero reason why he would just leave without it.
Yeah, true. So it gets kind of interesting now. Like, I'm guessing Zelga's going to Smith Chain.
Mm-hmm.
They probably want to keep following the mitts. Shovel first, maybe. Then.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Shovel first, and then maybe just go run into Dark World via the via south. The NMG route, basically.
That's true. Good point in chat. You could have the 4 items of Pyramid Fairy plus Castle Tower.
Well, we got a bottled green potion.
Not bad constellation. Looks like we're doing the Smith Chain. Nope, I lied.
We're gonna do Pyramid Fairy.
Is this faster than saving quitting? It might be. I trust Zelga no more than me.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, saving quitting is surprisingly slow. Like, you got a lot of screen transitions also from Link's house. The save and quit menu is also forever, so I think this is gonna be faster. Yeah, I think in terms of maybe okay, I guess maybe for time per item check, I'm not sure what's gonna be faster for Zelda. I mean, Smith Chain does take a while, but he hasn't done any of South Dark World, and so like he's got a lot of he's got like K45, he's got all the Smith Chain kind of available to him. He's got hammer pegs as well, so
yeah, it's pretty even, I think. But this kind of opts him into doing Graveyard Ledge and
right, yeah, he kind of
King's Tomb as well.
Chance.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tam opting for the lava chest.
Oh, interesting. Oh, right, because Tam also has knowledge of the pedestal, right?
Yeah,
So-
because I mean it's check for check, and lava chest is a lot faster than killing Trinex, so that makes perfect sense.
I wonder where that 4th Turtle Rock key is. Because I mean we're definitely getting up there in terms of actually according to Icar, our tracker, we have all 3 Skullwood small keys.
Yeah, and Chad pointing out that was a Skullwood small. That is the 3rd one in the Thieves Lava Chest. So Zelga's never gonna get that in logic.
Alright, so Tam well on their way in order to get their Temper Sword as well on Mimic Cave, and then I think they're gonna be done with Turtle Rock relatively soon. Not enough keys to kill Trinex for sure. We do not see anything on Laser Bridge. And so after this, it's going to be, I guess we're gonna go see in this case what Tam decides to do. We got a cool mushroom.
I mean that makes going to Catfish a little easier. If
True, yeah.
So like if Mushroom is not Flute, we could be pretty neck and neck. Oh, never mind. Or if it's not Flute, so never mind. Well,
that cape was in the back of Swamp Palace, which was, I believe, our first access entry point into the Castle Tower. So, but you don't really want to do Castle Tower if you, especially, maybe you can combine it with Pyramid Fairy. So this actually does make, I don't think necessarily maybe Zelga doesn't feel as bad, because it was definitely it's not like he didn't get the flute, he's not like he last location did, right?
I mean, he also got 2 horrible swords out of TR, right? Like, who knows where that last one is? So TR's looking fairly required.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Actually, so this is it, right? This is Zelga's gun then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Looks good. And of course, true to their team name, even though Zelga did have the bow, he has successfully avoided Eastern Palace by delaying that mirror. No opportunity for him to go in.
True. Eastern has been successfully skipped, although it was really never an option. It was pretty easy to do it in this seed. Let's see if it's Quake or not. That's kind of the one last. Oh, it was left side self-acquired.
Yeah. Looks like it. So I don't know if this in this case, maybe gives you a little bit more solace as for the individual runner, right? Because again, if you thought your opponent had the opportunity to skip left side swamp, it could actually be a good edge for you. Makes you feel a little bit better,
Yeah, and if you get the miss first, like if you go to compass chest before left side, which a lot of people do, it's pretty damn tempting to skip left side in that situation.
Okay, so Tam is still following Zelga's tracks right now. We're gonna do the shovel. If Tam does Pyramid Fairy right now, Where I think it looks like we're gonna have Tam's still probably very much in it. It kind of depends on if they decide to go do other things. This might be pretty good area as well.
Certainly looks like it.
Yeah, but we're gonna take the save and quit route. Okay, so they started their save and quit right at the 113 mark, and they're gonna enter in the portal. It looks like about 20 odd seconds, right? I want to say the Zelka's path was a little bit faster.
Find all the GT smalls.
Yeah, so we're definitely. So I don't know, with all the GT smalls, would you like beeline into like map chest or something?
No, it doesn't really matter. Like as long as you have 2, then you don't have to think about anything.
Nice dodge nice having the rope jump over your head while you're walking. Always cool to see on the side. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure we had the first castle tower pretty early, right? It's just really the entry to castle tower was kind of the bottleneck. Yeah, we didn't have a sword in order to get in. We didn't have we didn't have Master Sword to get in. We also didn't have a cape to get in until pretty late.
Right. Would you say cape was in swamp, right?
Yeah, back of swamp.
Yeah.
All right. No vanilla big key chest today. Yeah, so Zelga's gonna really nice real clip on there on his side. Zelga knows pretty much like every trick in the book, and his execution for those tricks is impeccable. Alright, Tam force wall on their way to get their flutes. So looks like all things considered, maybe he's gonna be 1 Mire behind. Zelga looks like he's gonna get out of Mire right around the time Tam maybe finishes activating the flutes.
Yeah, it looks about right.
I can't tell if Zelga lost Spooky. I didn't see.
No, I think that was fine.
Okay.
Oh, maybe they did think they lost it. They're going for 80 Spooky now.
Yeah,
back up.
Like back up, right. So, I mean, whether they lost it or not, we don't know, but Zelka's definitely going to try and preserve it now. Look at that. Look at... Man, even when something goes wrong the first time, Zelka knows how to recover. By the way, always a cool treat to see Zelga do Spooky in the dark as well. I mean, we do have the lamp pretty early on, but he is very much capable of it.
Yeah, I don't understand how people can do that.
Yeah, I'll say. It's like you literally can't see what's going on, but you don't hear anything as well, as in like you don't hear any enemy hits, you don't hear Link, struggling or whatever, and suddenly Zelga's just on the other side of the screen.
Right. Pretty nice video fight right there, just getting the 1 cycle.
Alright, Tam has finished activating their flute, so that is also their go mode, picking up the flute in Castle Tower. Yeah, and of course the big key was relatively early. It was in the lobby chest. It didn't have to really do too much exploring, I believe. Looking at her tracker, we do have 1 Mire small, so yeah, this is gonna be relatively easy routing for Tam.
Yeah, I think it's like maybe a 2.5, 3-minute lead. So kind of like just outside of GT big key routing.
Oh, we'll see. Bad things have happened certainly on Ganon before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, we've definitely seen that, and this is certainly not over. It is challenging for Tam to come back, but it is definitely not over.
Oh yeah. Even though this is very comfortable equipment for both Zelga and Tam, one might argue to be too comfortable potentially. But yes, bad things can happen. It doesn't actually necessarily matter what equipment you're on.
Yeah,
so I was gonna say, we did see a bunch of numbers here in chat as well. Yeah, what were we gonna say, Matt? Sorry.
No, I was gonna talk about the numbers as well.
Yeah, feel free to take a guess as to where you think that GT Vicky is.
Yes, I can gamble my channel points.
Nice. Yeah, thank you for mods to be able to allow us to wager. Put our channel points where our mouths are. You have a lot of options, of course. I'm not sure what Zelda prefers, and again, as you mentioned, Matt, like we've got 2 GT small keys, so it probably actually doesn't matter. You know, like the lack of or plethora of GT small keys is probably not going to influence their decisions one way or another. Of course, we
Okay.
do have Fire Rod. You know, we've got Samaria, so it's not like we're going to be really locked out of anything.
Listen, I got 25 stacks on Compass Room, so
Okay,
let's
all
see
right,
that
here we
happen.
go. Here we go. Well, we're gonna head to Hope Room first, and of course, in this mode, there's no gonna be real quote unquote like variants, as in you know small key in Hope Room because we're already here with a bunch of small keys. So
Yeah, I guess because maybe it makes it slightly more likely that we'll find some silver arrows in here. It's kind of the only thing left that these runners could possibly want.
yeah. Yeah, can I see also the half magic being put in action?
Oh, please. Oh, that was you almost beamed him right back into the hand.
Okay, so I would like for you to retract your statement. We could also use a fire shield, on Zelga's side.
Fair enough.
Alright, what do we got here in Compass Room? Much more money that we don't care about.
No, dude.
No.
My points.
No, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Alright, so like yeah, the kind of Compass Room first is like a bit standard in key sanity-ish when you have small keys already. Most of the other routes are just trying to make sure you get small keys.
Oh, actually that's a good point.
Because there's not a whole lot of point in going left-right when you already have small keys.
Tam also doing a backup AD. I'm not sure if they also lost their spooky as well, but it looks like maybe that was the curse. Alright, we got our second sword. Oh, jeez,
well,
we got silvers.
It's just free.
Yeah. Alright, looks like the Tam unfortunately couldn't recover the spooky.
It's tough. It's not the biggest window to get that. Like it's very easy to miss. That is a good point by Shady, that if you had gone Pyramid Fairy before going up the mountain, you would have been just fine. Because you would have just got your Master Sword and Silver Arrows right next to each other in GT.
Yeah. I mean, even though we do say, Master Sword, or Tempered Sword Plus, right, saves a ton of time over Master Sword for Ganon, which is still true. Like, phases 1 and 2 are going to be significantly faster with the Tempered Sword, but man, those silvers make a huge difference. Like, I think even for spoiler, right? Like, if you are a Master Sword silver, like if you're on just Master Sword, you probably either try and find a Tempered Sword or silvers. But I think you're just quite comfy if you have only silvers.
I mean, Zelga was definitely very unhappy to find those 2 items in GT. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, I mean, also, all right. Looks like Rando Rush would have potentially won the days today. I mean, assuming we do Southwest from first. Hey, it looks like, I personally have not been counting, but people in chat have been. 15, congratulations.
Alright, Tam made, while we were watching Zelga, made very quick work of Misery Mire. Really nice Vitreous fight on their side.
Unfortunately, no Waffle Houses today, but it's okay. Their team names are not, Waffle House.
Sag. Yeah, Tam opting for the bottom portal. I like it. I don't care if it's slower. I don't like dead rocks.
Fair.
Can we just get a Ganon Ball Z, Zelga?
Yeah, come on, Zelga. Believe in the NMG runner.
Well,
not today. Okay. It's he's slowed down by that gold sword. Like nobody in NMG has a gold sword by this point. I mean, unless you're running 100, but I mean, people just don't know what to do with it.
It's like turning off the silvers to get a little bit of lag reduction.
Yeah, we also see some nice half magic usage here, using the Fire Rod to kill off the Stalfos. And no real burn animation either, right? It's just yeah, because they just kind of instantly die.
Some friendly Gauntlet RNG, also very well executed on Zelga's side.
Alright, Tim goes entering GT. Gonna be curious to see. They certainly, we know from Zelga's side, if you end up skipping right side GT, it's gonna be some time save. But as you said, maybe more key sanity standard, type of approaches in order to get the most efficient, number of checks per second. Going to Compass Rings probably would be better. exactly what Tam is doing. Where did we come with 4 keys?
Yeah, I guess Tam found an extra one on his North Dark World, or their North Dark World adventure.
Yeah, meanwhile, though, Zelga, yeah, as you said, made very, very fast work of the gauntlet.
Yeah, this is a pretty masterful GT on Zelga's side. It doesn't get much better than this. Well, besides that fire red shot, but everything else was great.
Yeah, I really like to be able to see these tiny little, you know, item dashes, like almost like random exclusive content here. Zelga also picking up another key just in case. Oh no, I guess we didn't use most of our keys, so.
Yeah, he needed that one.
Alright, we got, of course, powder for the road that we picked up from Agina. Nothing was on Magic Bat, of course, but you always gonna never turn down that free magic refill right before the 2 hardest bosses in the game. Of course, I'm talking about Moldarm and Ganon.
It's a little scary, but it was fine.
Yeah, and of course, nothing of value here that Zelga could want. No more. Unfortunately, the fire shield does not reflect any of Aghanim's like blue ball energy shots. Otherwise, I guess maybe we need like an ice shield or something. I don't even know what those things are. But barring that, you know, that doesn't exist in the game, then you know there is nothing else that can help Zelga out.
Yeah, Tam also finding out that their TR dip was completely unrequired.
Ooh, unfortunately, just got nicked and couldn't quite make the splash on Zelga's side.
Oh, that was dirty.
Just short of Aga, you know, teleporting away. Man, these patterns though, what the heck? And all these blue balls in the middle too. Alright, but nice cleanup on Zelga's side. Yeah, nice cleanup.
Alright, the only thing that stands in our way is an 11 heart, red mail, gold sword, silver arrows Ganon fight.
Can Zelga handle this?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, just looking back to all of the different titles that Zelga's had. Cross keys, 2nd place I think, spoiler champion. I don't know how many ladder seasons he's won. Surely this, you know, he could not have muscle memory, you know, in order to fight this. He just may not be familiar with this set of equipment. Now, I had heard, though, with Gold Sword and with the right Ganon teleportation pattern, you could actually get a quadruple hit in Phase 4.
That is true.
Yeah.
I have no idea how it's done, but it can happen.
Yep, I'm here, you know, for hopes that Ganon is going to be cooperative today and Zelga can pull this off. As Ganon stops. Ooh, Tam doing the new switch hit with the arrow. Cool to see. Well, looks like Ganon did not cooperate, is that correct? We did not get an up.
I have no idea because I don't know how to do it. But there's 4 silver arrows, so GG to Zelga.
Zelga, you know, did quite well, of course. Get your G's in chat for putting, you know, Zelga taking a win over Tam and to put the Eastern Skippers in a 2-1 lead in their series. We're definitely going to see a Game 4 that was already decided after, of course, like the 1-1 earlier today, but it's going to be further cementing that with Eastern Skippers in the advantage.
Yeah, 1 game away from seeing some more co-op retrants, which is always fun.
Yeah, exactly. So
potentially.
So please, I don't know who's running Game 4, but we would like to really see some co-op retrans.
I think that sound means we are joined by Zelga. Zelga, GG's.
Yo,
well played.
Zelga, GG's.
We cannot hear you if you are speaking.
But also no rush. Feel free to take your time to figure out, you know, whatever is not working.
How about now?
Yep, that sounds good.
All right, GG. Thank you very much.
GG's.
So, how did you feel about where you're at? Like, say, when you found the flute, how are you feeling about the seed?
I wasn't feeling great, but I still ended up skipping a decent amount of stuff, even after doing Turtle Rock. And I got 2 swords from the die, so I was like, okay. Like, I'm in an okay position. There's a world where maybe you skip left side swamp. Like, I didn't know it at the time, but like, okay, when I got to Mire and saw it was Quake, I was like, okay, maybe someone skipped left side swamp. I might have that on. God, I got so mad at not Rando Room, Stealthos Room.
Yeah.
Absolutely called it. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, both of them are going to be so upset because they made their TR dip. Yeah, honestly, Zelga, like, I don't know if you talked to Tam about it all, but it was really the late mirror that helped you out a lot in this seed because Tam knew about the fire rod because Tam got the boots before doing Mini Moldorm Cave. And so they saw the fire rod and got the mirror, so they didn't go into Skull Woods initially, and then they routed down to get that fire rod and took the portal to do North Dark World and then beat Skull Woods, and that's really where a lot of your time got made up.
Okay, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. I talked a little bit with Tam, so I knew some of the things they did, but I wasn't aware that they had the mirror and fire rod quite that early. So, yeah, I can see where that'd be a big deal.
Yeah, I was actually wondering, like, did you feel like how did you feel when you picked up the mirror? Because you got the flippers. I don't remember when you got them, but you were definitely much later to the mirror than Tam was.
I didn't feel good. Well, I'd been feeling terrible ever since going into Dark World and getting Ropa lotteried on the way to Catfish.
Yeah, that was weird. Usually you can get out of that. I was surprised you couldn't hop down because that happens in NMG a lot, but it might be slightly different with the where you dashed.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it was. I think that's only the second time I've ever had that happen to me, and the other time I did just jump straight off. So I don't know what was different in the position this time, but yeah, I felt bad. And the later that things like the mirror and the flute were, I was like, God, I know it's Catfish. I already know. So at least that didn't happen.
Yeah, like we were kind of debating a little bit what you would do after Ice. Like it was kind of tough to justify doing Pyramid Fairy / Castle Tower before all of that Dark Death Mountain stuff, especially for Tam, considering they hadn't touched Death Mountain at all at that point. Like was there any thought at all? I mean, obviously it's hindsight now of doing Pyramid Fairy before going back up the mountain.
I did briefly, partially because I was like, I want to just get Catfish off my mind. But at the time, I saw, we've got 3 Turtle Rock keys and so much stuff to do up there. It's just so likely that it's just sitting in Turtle Rock. Let's just go for it.
Yeah, and like it almost got real interesting at that time because you found like the mushroom and right before the flute, and we were saying that like if it's not in the second chest of Castle Tower and it's not the mushroom, because Tam had already done all the North Dark World stuff, you could have because Tam was just finishing TR when you were just going in there, so it was all if flute had been anywhere else, it could have got super interesting. But that was kind of the nail in the coffin when you were able to find that there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, especially with an early mirror. I assume Tam was a lot more efficient along the way, but just sometimes Rando doesn't like you to be efficient.
That's true. And with that, we have Tam finishing off their Ganon fight. So GG's to Tam for a hard-fought race as well. They played extremely well.
Definitely. Yeah, get your G's on chat for Tam. By the way, I also don't know if you knew this, Zelga. When you guys were doing Escape, Tam did the right side of the front of Escape, and you did the left side, right? Like the normal, standard Escape. It was very, very pretty on the restream, like very much synchronization and symmetry.
I appreciate that. That's very nice. I wish I had known. I could have. Now I've got like a comparison thing to look back to and see which side is fully faster.
So we are also joined by Tam. GG's Tam. Also, we're not sure if we can hear you if you are making sounds.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, GG's. Yeah, it sounds like just I missed the mirror and it saved me. Sounds like from what I'm hearing.
we have lost Tam, unfortunately. Tam's audio.
Oh well, Zelga, do you know what's gonna happen with Game 4? Have you guys talked about it at all?
Just in the mention that we know there is a game 4 after the earlier results of the day. We haven't talked about who's playing it or what the plans are. I don't want to promise Tam versus Shady, but I know that Magno and Brogor did both the co-op references and the pseudo cross keys, and Marty and I did both the co-op reference and the pseudo cross keys. So there's probably a decent chance, but who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, looks like also Magno is confirming that Tam will be, up for their team on, for game number 4. And I think it's also Tam's pick, right, for the mode? Because you picked this mode, standard small key shuffle.
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay. So, and I guess speaking of, so I did see in the race room that you weren't sure what inspired you to pick this mode. Has that revelation become any more clear after running this mode?
Not really.
Fair.
Especially as soon as I saw Samaria, I got the confirmation that this mode was going to be really stupid. Like I was thinking before this race, like, man, if I get funneled into pod with like 3 or 4 keys, and I open Harmless Hellway, and it's not a big key, and I know that means it's vanilla, do I have to like hard reset? That's why I saved and quit before going to pod, was specifically that reason, because I had 4 keys. And I was like, I might legitimately have to save scum pod, and I'm gonna hate every second of this.
Yeah, that's not something I considered, but that's a good point.
Yeah, I think overall though your routing. I mean, I think both your routing and Tam's routing we're both pretty clean. I mean, it certainly got to a point where I think as Matt mentioned before, like the major difference is that because Tam had the only early mirror, they were more efficient with their checks. But when the mirror checks don't lead to any progression, right? It just kind of eats up more time. And you did not have that option. You were also, for what it's worth, not even given a temptation to go into Eastern Palace after pod because you didn't have the mirror. I don't know if that Eastern had ever crossed your mind during this scene, but it certainly looked like it was not required today.
Yeah, I mean, it crossed my mind, but it was definitely in the context of why would I want to go here, and why should anybody go here?
All I can say is that I saw the earlier match between Shady and Magno, and I believe Shady won, and he went into Eastern Palace. So you can't really argue with the facts here.
But at the same time, Magno went into Eastern Palace.
Well, but I have stated 2 facts. Shady went into Eastern Palace, and Shady won, right?
That's true. So I guess it's a coin flip, really. It's 50-50.
Yeah, it looks like, unfortunately, like, we do have Tam with us, but I guess they're saying that they can't get their microphone to function, which is really unfortunate. But I guess if you have any questions for Tam and for maybe they'll be able to answer, in text form. Tam, you did play well, 100%. Also, stay true to your emote that you just skipped the heart piece on the Lost Was drop down. It was very Tam of you to do so.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it was really well played by both runners. It was a super interesting race to watch. Like trying to figure out what was going to happen with the different flue locations was definitely made it interesting. So I guess GG's to you both. I don't know, Zelga, if you got anything more you want to say, or Clear Mouse?
I would just say a big GG's again to Tam, and thank you, Clear Mouse, thank you, Matt, thank you, Ikir, thank you guys so much for helping putting on the restream and giving us the audience. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to watching or possibly even playing Game 4.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I also I go for Matt.
No, sign us off, Clear Mouse. It's bedtime.
No. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, thank you, Tam, thank you, Zelga, thank you, Shady, and Magno and Brober also, of course, with everyone else, but being in the EU and watching basically like North American hours, evening hours, more for this race, I think it was really, really heartwarming to see such team support basically in chat, for both the Eastern Skippers and for Tabletop. So really awesome to be able to see that. Definitely looking forward to Game 4. Whenever that basically gets on the schedule. Always hoping for Game 5, but one game at a time. I want to also thank Iker for tracking. Amazing job, awesome job, keeping track of where how many items were left in the dungeons, which is very difficult for modes like this. So really cool. Thank you so much, Matt. Of course, this was awesome. Really glad that you were able to make it at this time. So thank you so much for the invitation.
Yeah, thank you to you as well, and GG's to our runners, and thanks everybody for watching, and we will catch you next time.